This is Anthony Beyond from Mission Start Podcast. And before we start the show, I'd like to say that thank you for the support you have gave us thus far, making this site where it is today. But to keep this going, we need a bit of help. As much as we love, going to conventions and, talking about games and the podcast and everything we do, some of this stuff isn't easy for us to do. So we have a Patreon page you guys should check out. On our Patreon page, we have multiple tiers of rewards, goals, and other goodies you can get, including getting these like this podcast early in the week, right when the podcast ends. There's also other rewards as to being in the podcast with us, early access to videos and photos, and much more. But just want to let you know that we have a Patreon page at patreon.com/Mission Start Podcast. Definitely check it out, guys. Share the love, and we'll show you some love. This is Anthony Beyond from Mission Start Podcast. And before we start the show, I'd like to say that thank you for the support you have gave us thus far, making this site where it is today. But to keep this going, we need a bit of help. As much as we love, going to conventions and, talking about games and the podcast and everything we do, some of this stuff isn't easy for us to do. So we have a Patreon page you guys should check out. On our Patreon page, we have multiple tiers of rewards, goals, and other goodies you can get, including getting these like this podcast early in the week, right when the podcast ends. There's also other rewards as to being in the podcast with us, early access to videos and photos, and much more. But just want to let you know that we have a Patreon page at patreon.com/Mission Start Podcast. Definitely check it out, guys. Share the love, and we'll show you some love.
Everything you need to know some boys. キュンとする一瞬の恋が輝く宝石みたいに続く。
Hello, everybody. This is Anthony Beyond from Mission Start Podcast, and we have an episode of the Conover. And this time around, we got not just one, not two, not three, but four people dug by Anime LA. Joining me tonight is Jesse,
Yo.
Steve,
Yay.
Jeremy,
Who?
and I didn't catch your name other than I can see NP on your Skype name. So
It's Elise. I'm Elise.
Elise, gotcha. So we pretty much have the Rolling 20s plus one to join us for tonight's podcast. So with that,
No, she's on the show actually. She's stepping in while V has a lot of personal things to go through.
oh, I did not know that. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, we have the Rolling 20s join us tonight.
There you go.
So with that being said, Anime LA, that happened last weekend ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yep.
Yeah.
So Anime LA used to be in another location prior to this year.
Yeah, it used to be in Los Angeles.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what was the hotel that was last time.
Marriott. The
LAX.
Los Angeles Airport Marriott, yes.
Gotcha. It was in that location for a number of years. I went 3 years ago, actually. No, 2 years ago, I want to say.
2 years.
Yeah.
It's sad that I know that and you don't, man.
I'm getting up there in age, man. It's starting to affect me.
I'm twice your goddamn age.
Do not
What are you trying to
don't
say?
drink the car. You're not
You
allowed.
just got bitched out in triplicate by guys who are like twice as old as you. So.
I have an old man soul. But yeah, it was in that location for a while, and then they moved out to this current location in Ontario, California. Now, my guesstimation, the reason for it to move is to grow bigger. Did they outgrew the last location?
Yeah, they must have outgrown it. They hit the cap like 3 years in a row.
True. Oh, that's right. That's a good point. It did. So it moved out to this location, and it was being held at the convention center in Ontario.
Yes.
So with that, because the ALA used to be, I mean, when it was in the last location, it was a very intimate, very close feeling when I was there, and people, you could like walk 2 feet in front of you and like talk to somebody and like have a friendly conversation, and there's only a certain amount of people that can get in. With this being now more wide open to more people to check out ALA, what has that experience been? That transition?
I can't speak for the others, but I'd say it's closer to standard convention. I still think the social aspect is probably the most important aspect of the convention. The dealers hall's gotten bigger. There's more panels coming on, more things to do, but it still seems to be people getting together as the main draw of the con overall.
Okay.
Yeah. It was, busy throughout the days that I was there, but yeah, it was a lot of getting together, a lot of talking, laughing, having fun, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to hear. I think one of the things that many people were kind of questioning, I mean, and this is something that, along the lines of myself, for reasons not going, was just like, what exactly the questions for me were, like, how exactly would transition to this bigger place? Will there be things that be different or change than it was in previous location? In terms of like rules, in terms of like how a certain process used to be now changed. Was any of that like apparent at ALA? Like, was something that was in the last location that was set up specifically for batch registration or the way the dealers hall was set up? Like, when that carried over, like did it benefited? Was there a change where it was some growing pains that might have not gone so as well?
I think the biggest change significantly is just travel from your hotel to the actual convention.
Okay. Oh, how far was it?
It depends on where you
which
stayed. There was like 5 hotels.
Yeah.
I see. Gotcha.
Actually, I would say just about everything had to change, frankly.
Mm.
You go from a one venue location to a main venue and hotel location, so just about everything had to change. Registration had its own room. Things were all switched around. You were in a brand new building. I don't know anything, frankly, that was the same.
The one thing that really stood out for me was the policy that the convention center had for no outside food or drinks. So that made things more difficult.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Was this something that was put on because of the convention? I guess higher ups would not want to have, or was it because they didn't want to have strict competition?
I think that was an actual convention.
That's building.
There was a
rules.
sign on the window saying no outside food or drink.
Oh, I see.
That's Ontario Convention Center rules. That's something they wanted.
I see. Gotcha.
So it just made things more difficult. There was actually I hit the Yoshinoyas like every day.
Yeah.
But there was a surprising amount of food located around there within walking distance. So it wasn't horrible, but.
And they did have that food court business going on at the back of the dealer's hall.
Yeah, but I didn't really want to pay $15. Convention prices for food.
I never went there, but I heard it was okay. I mean, of course it's going to be expensive though. I'm really glad I didn't go.
Yeah, there were decent options in walking distance. There were better options in moderate walking distance. There were 2 or 3 places inside the convention center to get food, which of course were, as you can imagine, as far as pricing. And then they actually had 2 to 4 food trucks outside every day. So.
Okay. So there was. Go on.
I was going to say they tried to put some definitive growth when it came to options as far as eating. Previous ALA, you had to bring a lot of stuff with you because you were a little bit isolated as far as the LAX Marriott. There were not many options in walking distance. And some of the better options in walking distance were in parts of neighborhoods you did not want to be on foot.
Okay. So there was plenty of options when it comes to food. Like there wasn't a given point where like if you wanted to get food, it was like literally a journey just to get food.
No, it's just you couldn't come back in with it. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But that kind of sucks. But it's. I mean, if that's what the convention center wants, then you can't really say much about it other than gotta eat this
Well, you can say
outside.
quite a bit about it, but it's not going to do you any good.
Yeah.
Right. And honestly, it really didn't pose too much of an issue except for the final day since it rained.
Oh, wow.
Again.
Yeah, it didn't just rain, man. The sky opened up and poured down a bucket of I don't know what the hell that was on the last day.
I don't know, but I was
Cats and
wearing
dogs.
a lot of it.
Cats and dogs.
It's a funny.
Yeah.
It's funny now. That has happened. Like at least last time I was there, like it happened when I was there. It started raining. Like a day or two at ALA. So was it a constant thing the entire weekend, or was it just like one
Nope.
day?
No, it was literally that last day, kind of right in the middle.
It was the last day. It started up not long after business started, which meant about 9 o'clock, but it stayed heavy up until about 2 or 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it really started coming down about 2.
Wow.
It was like that fat, dangerous, coming in at 45-degree angle type
Yeah,
of rain.
yeah. Umbrellas meant nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
So
I
that
love the
actually-
responses to some people. They were just saying, "Oh my God, what if it rains?" And then a lot of people are just looking at them going, "Really? Have you been here before?"
right. Yeah.
That was the unfortunate thing. That was actually a pretty big change too, because last year we were in the hotel. It started raining. You weren't outside anyway. This year you had to walk to the convention center from any of the hotels. I have a feeling that probably made a bit of a difference on that final day,
Dude,
especially
the only
with as big as cosplay is.
The only thing that did me wrong was I brought a heavy coat just in case it rained. No umbrella, but my heavy coat, good hat, and that was the one thing I didn't wear on that day.
Oh, it sucks.
So I pulled a stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, myself and 2 of my roommates went to go get lunch. Of course, right when it started pouring, and so yeah, I had no umbrella, no hat. My 2 friends both had hats on. They were both wearing trench coats. I'm wearing just a jacket.
A varsity jacket.
And yeah, I found out really quick that was not waterproof.
Wow.
Yeah, that was kind of the funniest thing that happened on Sunday, because I was talking to Elise staring out a window, and I told her, yeah, Steve said he was going to go get food, and she looks out and said, "In that?" And I said, "Yeah, in that." Hey, look down there, that's them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow, that sucks. But wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, it definitely sucks whenever it rains. It's regardless of what convention it is. So with the new space, like, did it feel like, because I know you guys been to WonderCon, especially when they moved a long time ago to Anaheim.
Oh, yeah.
Does it feel like? I mean, my guess is like it was very spacious, but did it feel like ALA felt small in a bigger convention? To say.
No, not
Au
at all.
contraire, no.
There was
Not at
headroom.
all.
I can tell you that much. There was headroom. But shoulder
we-
room?
We pretty much I admit I saw only slices of the convention because I was working a lot of the time, but maybe the others can corroborate. I think we filled it out pretty well.
Wow.
Yeah, I can concur.
Wow.
Yeah, the dealer's hall was very busy every time I went in there, but it was nice because, before the dealer's hall was in one of their ballrooms of the hotel. This time, it was in an actual hall, and
Well, I'd like
made
to
a lot
counter
of
that for a moment, because before there have been what they call dealers halls. It wasn't much of a dealer's hall. It was more like a group of people who decided to sell stuff.
yeah,
This time around, there was an actual hall.
and quite a few things I was tempted to buy. A couple things that I saw Jeremy buy. So, and I know
Yeah.
Jesse got one thing.
I got one print. One print.
Oh my God, he actually limited himself for once.
That's a
Jesse's
first.
usually the guy that goes to a convention and just says, "Nah, I'm not looking for anything." And what are those 3 bags of stuff? What? When did I get these?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, trust me, I toured the dealer's hall quite a bit. One thing I kept coming back to is, damn it, I need to get it.
Yeah, I usually get a lot in Artist Alley, but this year I think I only got 2 prints, and I don't think I got anything in the dealer's hall. Oh wait, I got a tiny stuffed hamster. That's literally it. Like, there wasn't much to choose background, honestly.
Yeah, ALA actually had some pretty decent vendors too. I mean, one of the guys I frequent as far as like my third-party Transformers and some generic toys showed up. A couple other artists I recognized from the larger convention circuits. The ones that buy booths in the dealer's hall instead of Artist Alley, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of booths, I couldn't tell you the name of them overall, but it's one of those things where I recognize their wares. I know who they are.
Okay. Cool. So speaking of the dealer's hall or dealer's room, like how big was the relative size of the room in terms of for the dealer's room?
I'd say
It was
maybe about
literally the size of a cafeteria.
That's a fair statement.
Define cafeteria size.
No, literally, it was a cafeteria.
Oh.
A moderate sized single hall. Think about it as like half of one section of the Anaheim Convention Center.
Oh. Oh, okay,
So
wow.
Nothing huge, but big enough where you actually got a sense of it's definitely larger than it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was about five rows or five
about
walkways through it.
It was 5 solid columns worth of tables, so there were 6 walkways. Off to the right-hand side were 4 rows of artist tables. 4 columns, I should say, of artist tables.
Cool.
No, 3 columns of artist
3.
tables, and then the 4th one was a half row of all fan tables.
Yeah.
Nice.
The 501st and stuff. I keep thinking that there was something off to the far left. I think I'm getting that mixed up with the main event room.
Ah, okay. All right, cool, awesome. Wow. So how was that like? How was that? How was the fact that there was like a big open space now to walk around and buy stuff?
I never actually went in the previous dealer's area when I was attending the convention because I'm not claustrophobic, but I kind of felt like I would be after walking through there. And this was just like attending a normal convention, it was nice being able to.
Yeah, the dealer's hall now is like standard fare for any convention. But prior to that, back when I was in that hotel, it was a lot more packed. It's like you had to go in one way.
Oh wow.
And it was pretty much just kind of a U.
This one is a lot more open, a lot more vendors out there, and a lot more walking space.
Nice, awesome. All right, good to hear. Good to hear. It sounds like so far like the transition from what it was prior to where it is now is it has succeeded in not only size but like the amount of people like that came in as well for this year's ALA. Okay, cool, awesome. In terms of now, Jesse and Steve and Elisa might speak to this more, but like I feel that ALA. Anime Expo, I would say, for that matter too. Basically, some of the SoCal cosplayers are really good. Their cosplays are pretty damn awesome. And when you guys' time down there walking around the convention floor, like any particular cosplayers that stood out to you?
A lot of skin this year.
A lot of skin.
Yeah.
Well, on our way back from lunch on the first day, we came across a group of people that kind of dressed similarly. Until I take a good look and say, oh wait, they're the Sailor Scouts dressed for snow weather.
Oh, that's
that
awesome.
was interesting. Coming back from lunch, yeah.
That's cool.
That's about the one thing that kind of stood out for me. Other than that, I kind of worked most, so I didn't get to see a lot of cosplay. I saw a lot, but a lot of things I don't know what they are, or I don't care for. Maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't take a lot of pictures and whatnot. But I did work the masquerade.
Oh.
So, there was quite a few good costumes going on in that, and they had one particular skit that just really stood out for me, which was a homemade Dalek from Doctor Who
Mm-hmm.
that they put in a Hatsune Miku wig. It was such a good skit.
Huh.
Hilarious.
They actually entered in the novice portion of it because it was the first time for that group.
Uh-huh.
But for the Dalek, they actually just went ahead and bumped him up to the journeyman because it was so well done.
Oh,
it was
wow.
fully mobile. I don't know what kind of motor he was using, but it was pretty silent. Didn't really make any noises. It was moving or anything, but yeah, it was.
Watch, you check under the skirt. It was a couple of dwarfs with a
No, there was only one guy inside. But yeah, I mean, it was impressive. So that's what really kind of stood out for me.
Nice, awesome. Yeah, wow. I mean, there's that. I've kind of been poking around the internet trying to find some videos of the masquerade for ALA.
Sorry, Elise, you were about to say something when it came to interesting cosplay. Did you see something?
Yeah, there was a lot of Miku, but not, her typical, her kind of default outfit. There were like interesting takes on her design. And I know that Santi took a ton of pictures with a billion Mikus.
Yeah, I think he's got a little bit of an obsession there.
Slightly. Tiny, itty bitty. It was so funny though. And there were some really, really good Love Live cosplayers. Because I don't know if you know anything about that game, but you have a lot of designs and outfits to choose from, and so many were well done. It was nice to see as someone who plays that game.
You know, I saw an interesting cosplay I saw at WonderCon, no less. I saw a punk version of Spider-Gwen. I saw her perched on a wall while I was walking with my camera. So I fast walked to where she was outside the convention center, hoping to catch her, and she had just hopped down when I got in range of my lens. And it turned into kind of a moment because I just decided to say, "Hi, how's it going?" And then she just stopped and said, "How's it going? I haven't seen you in a while." And all of a sudden, I'm doing that thing where I'm looking at her just going, "Oh, God, do I know this person?"
You'll always end up in that situation. It's so funny.
I know, and I saw her only once that I'm sure of before, but she knows she's seen me.
That's funny. So I said that same thing. Jeremy, this is a thing that happens to you often, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, because unlike you, I am old enough to lose memories, you little bastard.
Screw you too. Okay. That's cool. I think I was only to see like screenshots and just pictures on Twitter of like some of the cosplayers from ALA. Bunch of them were pretty awesome. I had a friend of mine who went there as Shantae from Shantae's and the Paris Curse, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. But yeah, that sounds good, definitely. In terms of now the layout was different. How far were some of the areas that used to be in the previous location now to this location? Like, it's that you enter into the convention, and like how far was like the gaming room, and how far was like the anime viewing room, and so on and so on.
That varies by the answer. All the anime viewing rooms were inside the convention center. All the gaming and more social activities were moved over to the Radisson Hotel across the street.
I see. So they're doing a two building. What's the word I'm looking for? Almost like
it was a 2-venue convention. Although considering what happened this year, I'll be interested to see if that holds up.
I see. Gotcha. Okay. So much inclined of what SAC Anime is doing right now with like having one convention being the convention center, but then having like the hotel like for other activities as well.
It was kind of a scary statement now that I think about it, that we already needed 2 different venues to hold what was going on for the convention. It makes you wonder if after the 3-year contract is up, whether or not they'll still be there.
Interesting. And with Anime LA and with like. And just out of curiosity, like, do you know what the numbers were for this year, or?
North of 8,000.
North of 8,000. Okay.
Yeah. I heard close to 10,000, but I don't know how accurate that is.
Yeah, compared to last year, they're looking at somewhere between 90 to 100% growth.
Wow.
Possibly even 120 based on the number Elise gave.
Interesting. I kind of wondered, like, at this rate, do you think that ALA is going to have to do the cutoff for how many badges can sell at one point, or?
Potentially. I mean, I think they expected growth. I don't think they expected that much.
Interesting.
You know, the few times I was able to walk around when I wasn't working, I was looking around going, this actually feels kind of crowded.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and the thing is, you know, it's a 2-story convention, so you have upstairs and downstairs. And downstairs was always just chock full of people, and then upstairs you had more people, you know, kind of sitting down, leaning against areas, but still, you know, people up there. So it
yeah, there was function space upstairs.
Yeah. Most of the panels and everything took place upstairs.
I
Yeah.
see. I see. Okay, so this was a two-story convention center. So what was on the first floor versus what was on the second floor?
First floor was registration, main hall, dealer's hall, and the 3 ballrooms for the anime viewing.
Large
I
panels.
think they used them for large panels as well.
Also on the first floor were several anime viewing rooms, the photo studio, the
Right.
office and Conops. Second story was all smaller panel space.
Okay.
And the one larger room for they did Masquerade and some other stuff, Masquerade prep and
Yeah, the fashion
mean-
show's in there, right?
Yeah, main event room was downstairs, right next to the dealer's hall.
No, but the upstairs they had prepping for Masquerade as well as the swap meet was upstairs.
Yeah, that's the green room.
Okay. What was on the second floor then?
That was the second floor.
Oh, okay. Oops, sorry, I must have missed that. Okay, all right, cool. So most of the action was basically on the first floor. The second floor, like not many people were up there per se during the days, or did they get it?
There was
No,
plenty
there
of
was-
people up
yeah,
there.
there was plenty of people, but it was mostly there for a purpose.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Either for those small panels or for photo shoots. Actually, there's actually some setups up there.
Oh.
Yeah, ALA did a pretty good job of planning for hangabout individuals, people who wouldn't leave the convention center, because there were tables in a lot of different locations for people to sit.
That's cool. Did they still have the beanbags at the ALA?
They had them at the
not-
Radisson.
They had
okay.
Radisson,
Gotcha. Okay.
But they did still have the benches, the signed.
Yeah, they brought those in. I was kind of surprised to see them again.
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome. What was I gonna say? Okay, so since it was moved to the convention center, was the convention center had like a time limit or a curfew for that, and then like the Radisson was a 24-hour thing, or
Correct.
okay,
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say
convention center
it
didn't
was
close
about.
until I think 2 a.m.
okay,
It depended on the event going on.
Oh, and one
Uh,
thing I wanted to comment on, it was really cool that they had water everywhere. You know, water
Yeah.
and cups. That
And
was
they
awesome.
did do a good
I was
job.
really
of
happy
keeping
to
those
see
filled.
that.
But yeah, because I wasn't sure if that was going to carry over, because that was something that they did previously in the hotel as well. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
they did a good job of having all that out.
okay.
Yeah, but as far as the convention center, I think it usually closed about 11 or 12. However, the Masquerade ran very long, so
Mm.
Well, and then they
Probably-
had the bands scheduled after the Masquerade, which probably wasn't a good
jeez,
idea.
why?
That's what we were asking.
So how long did that go up to?
They shut everything down at 2 a.m. Saturday night.
Gotcha. Okay, that's nuts. That's but okay. But yeah, okay. So then the Radisson was 24 hours. Okay. Okay. Cool. That's awesome. I kind of expected it to happen with the new location and new change. But yeah, understandable for sure. So my next question is actually for Elise. So Elise, what year is this for Anime LA for you?
This is my 4th year attending on and off.
I see. Gotcha. Okay. Now, and I'll ask everybody else, like, what was the vibe of the people there that was going to ALA? Was it somehow changed from the last time that it was at the current previous location? Or was it just like the vibe was like everybody's having fun and just better than it was prior? Like, what was the general vibe?
I'd say it kind of varied from day to day, honestly. It progressively got more energetic, if you know what I'm saying. Like, when it started out, everyone was really chill and curious about the location because it was a new venue, and everyone was kind of exploring, and I could tell people were happy that they had a little bit more wiggle room. And then by, I'd say, Saturday afternoon, people were just really hyped up. Like, they were pumped for the Masquerade, they were running, they were definitely taking more pictures, I'd say. So I don't know. This con has always been very friendly, very social. So I think that definitely carried over. but there was a little bit more energy. I think there was a lot of excitement for the new venue. Yeah.
Okay. Was it the same for the rest of you guys?
Yeah, whenever I was out on the floor, it was like, I mean, just noise. Just the crowd is
Yeah.
just, and lots of movement and everything else. But yeah, I didn't really actually go over to the Radisson except for one time. I'm hoping maybe next year to fix that. But yeah, I was doing a lot more working and everything, and just not as much people watching this time.
Okay.
I tend to agree with Elise. I think Thursday and Friday the vibe was pretty relaxed. People were not just getting used to the venue, but they were also kind of looking around, reconnecting with people they hadn't seen in a while. And somewhere around Saturday, the energy picked up, but so did the raucous behavior.
Okay.
There was a lot of stuff happening that really shouldn't have.
Yeah, especially Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday night and Sunday morning were ridiculous, honestly.
Yeah. How deep should we get in that conversation?
That's up to you guys, honestly.
It's kind of an elephant in the room in a way.
I mean,
more or less.
I mean, it's up to you guys. I'm not gonna pressure the question on you, but it's up to you.
Well, do you mind if I sit in the driver's seat for a few minutes?
Yes, go for it.
Okay. Because I tell you what, I came out of the convention rather pissed. Honestly.
Yeah, I think we were all there.
To the point where it was almost maddening. To the point where it sounded like there was a siren going off in my head. Because of several things that went on. Number one, there were at least a dozen EMTs and police calls over the course of the weekend. Which some people would call the mark of a good party. I would call it the mark of something that's way out of control.
And dangerous.
Yes. There were several reports of people who somehow managed to start something like a quasi-rave going on in the lobby of the Radisson. How that was allowed to go on that long just perplexes me, frankly.
Yeah, I question people's thinking ability when they actually got a live DJ for the hotel lobby.
It was technically public drunkenness because they did not close off the hotel to only con attendees. And I was down at that party. It was ridiculous. There were drugs, there was alcohol, empty bottles everywhere. It was not safe at all.
There were 2 people arrested for prostitution that night, too.
Prostitution, 2 other people arrested for drugs. Yeah,
There were 2 rapes, to my understanding.
Yeah, I can't believe that any hotel would allow that to go on as long as it did. And this is the lobby. This isn't most of the lobby. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but most of the lobby's in full view of the front desk.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
it's not sectional like it is in a lot of places. Most of the room is viewable from that 45-degree angle.
Every indication I received from, people talking about it, the hotel staff basically ducked and covered or were, possibly even taking part.
Yeah.
Well, there was one photo on social media that said that one of the hotel security allowed himself to be bribed by a glass of apple cider.
Oh, yeah. No, when I was down there were staff watching, some of them laughing, some of them trying to pretend it wasn't happening. A lot of people were just trying to go about their day and earn their paycheck, and then others were actually curious to the point of, participating, like you said, which is a little bit worrying, because there were definitely minors drinking in front of me.
Yeah. And there was a few reports that have been deleted from social media. I don't know if they've been bureaucrated away or something, but there were reports of people getting roofied that night.
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing.
No, I didn't hear it. I saw it.
Right.
I dealt with some of the after effects. And not from a standpoint of working the convention, just because there was an event that occurred that required me to step in.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it firsthand. And I will speak from the heart for just a minute there. Because if I find out who did it, who was doing this to people, I don't think I'm using a euphemism. I don't think I'm exaggerating. I would like to put my knee across their throat until I hear a pop.
Rightfully so. Yeah, like I, and here's something that I think that needs to be clear. I mean, it's not all conventions, but like, um, there's a good part of the bigger conventions that parties are going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing at every other big convention. Fanime has them, Anime Expo has them, ALA has them. Like it's a thing where it happens. You get together a bunch of older people who maybe into cosplay, maybe not, um, get together and like want to drink and party at night or drink during the day. And that's going to happen regardless.
Well, let me clarify though. I'm not against people partying and relaxing. I'm not against against people having a good time as long as it doesn't cause anybody else any pain.
Mm-hmm.
However, this caused a number of people acrimony, including people in my own crew, including the 4 people who are sitting here trying to review a convention, because the last day and not day and a half, the last full day of the con was overshadowed by this party and an unfortunate drugging event to the point where the 4 of us were exhausted. At least one of us couldn't even make it into work to staff the convention, I should say. And it really colored the rest of the evening to the point where I had to deal with a dozen people who were either exhausted, tired, or understood why everybody else weren't there.
Right.
And it just, I mean, parties happen. It's a social event, and again, having a good time, but
there's a line.
I mean, it was literally, I mean, there's a clear line between, having a party fun event and breaking the law. Anytime that, you have law enforcement come in and actually pull people out of the party, there was even the fact that when it finally got to a certain point, that even essentially turned into a riot, and they had to clear everything out. That's, the line was way back somewhere, and it got lost. And
well, it had to have gotten lost because the drugging wasn't the only thing. There's reports that fixtures in the Radisson were ripped out of the wall, bathroom tiles were broken, puke streaming across a wall, not down it, across.
It just. And this is a hotel that is currently undergoing renovations, and prior to us arriving there, 36 hotel rooms were flooded. So, there was some stuff going on even before we made it there, but
we
this
didn't
did
do
not
that.
help
Believe it or
in
not,
any shape or form.
Yeah, believe it or not, that was a knitting convention that did that.
Wow.
Yeah, it turns out somebody from the knitting convention on, I think it was Thursday, the day that everyone started arriving at the Radisson.
No, I think it was Wednesday, because they sent out an email at that point.
Oh, okay. I wasn't really paying attention that day because I was driving. But what happened was somebody at the knitting convention was putting stuff away post-con and decided that sprinkler head hanging out from the side of the wall looked like a great place to put a hanger, which unfortunately set off the pressure sensor, which cascaded across 36 rooms.
Wow.
And by the time we arrived, only 4 of those rooms were salvageable.
Wow.
And that was only because whoever, registered in those rooms did not register with the convention. And since we had, basically claimed that entire hotel, they said, okay, well, those 4 rooms, we'll give them to you because you have the whole hotel. And then they had to shove off, they let all the convention attendees stay, but they shoved staff that were staying there to a different hotel and set up a shuttle system. That one of my roommates in real life got shuttled over to that other hotel. It was apparently not a pleasant experience.
Well, it was like 7th choice in the area, so no, it wasn't going to be a pleasant experience. But I can say, aren't you guys glad I'm very particular when it comes to hotels?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think we all already told you that, if it comes to a choice between any other hotel and the Radisson, we'll go with almost any other hotel. Except for the one that Jared had to stay at, because that's
Oh God.
no lights in the bathroom in his room.
Wow.
And no remote to the TV. He had to use his cell phone as a remote.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Yeah, it was a
Crazy. I
pretty
didn't
sad
hear
situation.
but there were some other staff members that told me they did have to take the shuttle, and I was just like, oh, single tear.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Oh, and
Yeah,
staff at
it was
that
pretty
hotel
bad.
was very uncooperative.
Oh yeah. It
Yeah.
was pretty much it was pretty. It may have had inn or hotel in the sign, but it was basically a low rent motel. It makes Motel 6 look like the Four Seasons, man.
Oh, wow.
But back on the subject for just a couple more minutes here. I'm disappointed in the anime convention crowd in California because this kind of crap is slowly becoming the norm.
Yeah.
It's gotten to the point where even Anime Expo hotels, according to one ACT staffer I talked to, on their own volition. Remember that wristband policy that started the JW last year?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's now in 6 hotels in their block, all demanded by the hotels, not by the convention, the hotels.
Yeah.
You know what? I do not envy the hotels because it seems to be becoming more and more common that you go to a convention and it's just like common sense is just like poof gone.
Yeah.
Right, but the thing
Yeah.
is though, these policies are popping up at the anime conventions in California. Okay, it's popping up at Anime Expo. There's a modified version of it now happening at Fanime. ALA, I think, is going to have some new policies going into next year. However, in the same locations, WonderCon doesn't have this problem. Kamikaze doesn't have this problem. Comic-Con sure as hell doesn't have this problem. And frankly, WonderCon and Kamikaze are both happening in the same place as Anime Expo, but their hotel rates are like $25 a night less.
Yep. And the reason being, I think it's because the crowd, the anime crowd.
Yeah.
If you
And-
think, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know that you can necessarily blame it on the anime crowd. It just seems to be that these conventions are getting known for the party atmosphere, and people are
Mm.
showing up that have no interest in anime. It's all about the party.
That's true.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, I like Dragon Ball Z, and I really like alcohol. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's, people I know come to Fanime because it's the party con. It's a 24-hour party. Anime? What's that? They don't care. They just want somewhere to chill and get drunk, watch some
They
stuff.
want somewhere they
play
can
some
drink without
video
mom and
games
dad
like
watching
it.
them for a few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, and there's a lot of underage drinking. I've seen firsthand drug deals at Fanime, and that blows my mind. It really does.
Yeah. It's definitely it is definitely something I've noticed too. Particularly with anime's case. I can't tell you. I remember hearing that there was like over 50 people that were taken from the rave at Fanime because they were too drugged up or they were too messed up. And I remember seeing one time I was at my hotel room and I see this just this kid or this guy like was being strapped to the paramedics stretcher. And he was on something because like he was like putting his hand out or just totally freaking out. I had to set him down. My friend and I can witness all this happen outside our window. Yeah, especially in California, this is an issue, and I think that it's definitely like I'm not sure where to or how to fix that per se. But like if
Well,
go ahead.
I can't speak for all the other conventions. I can speak for this one because I am a staffer at it. At what level, I'm not going to say because I'm not going to toot my own horn.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 in this room are all staffers at it. Full disclosure. They worked under me. And I will say that after what happened at ALA this year, I bent the ear of a couple managers, and I am currently working on policies to fix is a wrong word. Curtail the raucous behavior.
Yeah.
I've made that my mission, and I've made it very clear to the managers above me that if I can't fix this, I very likely can't get back 3/4 of my staffers. They are very likely to quit, and frankly, so am I.
Yeah. No one would blame you at this point.
No one wants to ruin someone's good time, but if your good time is ruining other people's good times, then something has to change.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong there. If in order to have fun, you have to pull someone else down, or there were just a lot of really messed up things happening at this con, especially on Saturday. and from what I hear, Sunday as well, Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I think it all just kind of bled together in a good 12 hours of misbehavior and really just irresponsibility. And
Yeah.
I've been going to cons since I was 13. And the thought of, I mean, there are minors at these conventions, and if this was happening when I was a kid on this scale, my dad would not have let me come. I wouldn't have wanted to come because it's dangerous. So
Yeah,
I
and
really hope that something is done long term, that, you know, people understand no one's trying to bring them down or wreck the party, but, you know, it's not safe at this point to
yeah,
bring
and to put in perspective, Anthony, we are not saying all this because, as they said, we are not the party police. We are not the ones saying that nobody can have fun. We're not the ones saying you can't have a party. What we are saying, though, is that we are relatively close. We're about as close as you can get to family without genetics. And we are looking out not just for the younger people. We're looking out for the older people. We're looking out for the very young people as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, without trying to sound too crusader-ish, I think it's time to reclaim conventions from the party crowd for the sake of conventions.
Yeah. I definitely agree. And I agree with you. You know, and I also I agree with you with the, you know, like, you can still have your parties, you can still have fun, but like there's got to be a limit as far as like.
Well,
be responsible about it.
Yeah.
Please.
Yes.
The final nail about it, and again, this is probably not going to sound very nice for people who are in their late teens, early 20s, but frankly, I'm a father of 3. My oldest is 12 years old and about as geeky as she could possibly be without possibly knowing particle physics in the midst of it all. And I honestly can't think of an anime convention anymore in California that I would take her to. Anime Los Angeles was the last one because it was so easy to keep track of her in a one-venue place. But after what happened last weekend, I wouldn't take her to Anime Expo. I wouldn't take her to Fanime. Sure as hell wouldn't take her to Anime Los Angeles as it stands.
Yeah.
Understandable for sure. Wow. Well, time will tell. We'll see how it goes, especially with Anime LA, and see how things turn out.
I will say, though, to spin this back into the positive, the Azura Hotel down there, nice place, man.
It is.
So
Yes.
amazing. They were really, really great.
Yeah, it was cozy.
And the convention for staffers, they've always provided us breakfast and lunch. I have to say that, you know, I heard other people at other hotels, and they were kind of going, yeah, like, I had cold cereal for breakfast, you know, today.
Yeah.
And
I heard that too.
Yeah, sure.
Very,
Had a
very
really
sad.
nice kind of buffet.
It wasn't a buffet per se.
Well,
It was a
yeah, it
ticketed
wasn't.
meal. You could only get hot food if you gave them a ticket, and once they punched it out, you couldn't get any more. But that didn't stop you from going back for, like, oatmeal and Frosted Flakes and the occasional slice of toast.
Hot
And
meal because they did
And
have
you could
oatmeal.
load up on that first go. Like, I remember on day one, I was so pumped when I saw those waffles and stuff. Like, I think, no, was it French toast?
French
oh my
toast.
god,
French
I'm gonna
toast.
be fat. Like,
But
Yeah.
So
I think it was
good. I had
Saturday
so-
they had the waffles, and they actually started shutting it down, and they had so many waffles. They were like, "Hey, anybody else want waffles? You know, just go back up." I'm like, "Sweet."
Yeah, Jesse tried. He tried to fit me into a stereotype because on Saturday I sat down with, I think it was just potatoes and eggs, and he says, "Jeremy, they got waffles." I know.
Was that like the bat signal? It's just like, there's waffles here. All right, let's go for
No,
it.
that was my stomach going want, and that was my head going, I'm down to 215 pounds, man. We are not doing this today. Oh, shut up, waffles must be had.
That's awesome.
No, I think I even confused a lady too, because when I was getting the stuff, I just said, "Could I get eggs and potatoes?" She looks at me and says, "We have waffles." Yeah, I know. So you want a waffle? No. Okay, you don't have to snap about it. I'm not snapping. I just don't want a waffle. Okay, you want a waffle? What the hell did I just say?
Oh my god.
So,
Give in to the
She could
temptation.
feel it, Jeremy. She could sense it. Your need.
so how many did
Black sensors were going crazy.
how many did you had?
I didn't have any. I was a good boy. I even had oatmeal the last day. I mean, shoot.
So, Jeremy, how many waffles did you have? Let's ask again.
You people are not getting Christmas cards from me anymore.
Hey!
No, actually, I mean, I was actually it's an older hotel. Some of the fixtures are kind of old, but it's kind of sad that my mark for impressed was that I walked in the bathroom and realized there's an actual ventilation fan.
Especially after all the rain, because we ended up having to hang up all our coats and everything in the bathroom.
No, wow.
And it
Well,
definitely.
I was kind of
except
impressed
for
with their tub because it's actually set where you can just lay down and it just
Yeah, it was
Uncomfortable.
actually usable.
Yeah, I'm a big guy. I've got wide shoulders. I looked at that tub and said, I could have sex in that.
All right. Well.
Then I found Jesse in the tub and got really nervous.
You didn't find
Hello.
Jesse in the tub. You found Mariano in the tub.
Shut up.
Oh my god, everyone's finding people in tubs. What is happening?
My question is, how was hotel staff kind of reacting to this crowd? I'm not quite sure if it's their first time hosting this big of a crowd for an anime convention, but like, what was their general reaction?
You know,
I don't think we can speak for the resin, but the Ayers, or whatever they want
the
to call
Azor, as
themselves
it's
now.
called now.
Yeah.
It's the Azor now. The Azor was kind of funny about it because during the first couple days when people, or Thursday, Friday, when people were showing up, all their morning staff had that same expression of, why is everyone dressed up as a cartoon character? I don't get what's happening here today.
Another pink wig, really? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I heard one lady actually say, are these people here for the wedding going on later? Because this seems really odd.
An awesome wedding.
That's
By
great.
Sunday, though, the faces were just kind of, well, they're leaving. You know,
I'm pretty sure the front desk got to know us pretty well, considering we had to show up doing like
And it was
every half day.
Yeah, they're, you know, as far as people, they were pretty nice about it, even though you could tell they were really confused as to what exactly was going on after the knitting convention had left, you know. They really didn't quite know how to quantify people.
exciting January.
Yeah, there was only one real complaint we had, and it's as Jesse said, the technology inside the hotel is a little bit antiquated, and by that I mean they had a hotel card key system. You know, nothing new. It had obviously been there for a bit. The problem is, though, every time someone either checked into a room or had to switch their keys because they lost one, they neglected to tell us that their system was so old that, one, cell phones and other credit cards could potentially demagnetize their keys.
Wow.
And number two, every time they replaced a key for a room, they replaced all of the keys in the room.
Oh, wow.
Which
So,
killed the rest
when
of them.
You know,
Yeah, because they
Nobody
didn't explain this
realized
to
that.
us, we were going there either as singles or as pairs of rooms of 4 people getting new keys, and then the other half of us would just go, what the frick, this was working like 2 minutes ago.
yeah. And then so we would go replace our keys, and all of a sudden the people that got theirs were, it was big.
It was a mess.
Yeah, it was a
It was
big
one of those
mess.
things where we didn't even solve it really until the very last night. We come back from dinner on Sunday to the hotel to get some sleep, and all 4 of us just went, look, we're all here. We just want to make sure we do this right. Could you replace these, please?
But at that point it was kind of moot because
Yeah,
nobody was going out or anything, but we had
Yeah,
our
it was at
keys.
that point they didn't question, they didn't ask for any information. They just like, what room?
Yeah. Yeah, it was from what I understand, it was a pretty regular problem just because, you know, most systems can replace individual keys without, you know, without scrambling the rest of them, unless you ask. But in this case, it was all or nothing, literally, not figuratively, literally.
So yeah, that was the one thing that we were dealing with off and on throughout the entire weekend. But
Oh,
Wow.
it wasn't
Really?
off and on. It was all damn weekend.
And it isn't just our hotel because our friend, our roommate Jared, who was at the one he needed a bus for to get back.
Yeah, the crap hole deluxe down there. What was it called? The
Yeah.
Ontario Grand Inn, I think.
An entire grand, yes.
Literally, the only grand thing about it was the name.
But yeah, no, they've had similar issues with their card key system as well.
Nah, wow.
Yeah, but that was on top of everything else going on.
Hmm
Wow.
Shoot. You know, it was one of those weekends where I guess to sum it up, everything would have been fine except for the party crowd. The party crowd kind of dragged down the mood on the last day.
I see.
yeah,
We're-
Yeah.
I know that we got really good responses and everything for having the main event room and whatnot. Other than the issue with the masquerade running long and that holding up the bands and so forth, the masquerade went really well this year. We even had a lift for the stage, so some of the bigger costumes. Unfortunately, the Dalek was about 3 inches too wide, so we couldn't get up onto the stage.
Oh, damn.
But yeah, and ongoing process. Everybody was kind of getting into their little niches and everything. Probably still going to be some changes next year, but it was definitely nice having the extra space.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. So I know you guys were busy. And hopefully Liz can answer this if she's on. Oh, hey.
Because she's quiet doesn't mean she's non-existent. Jeez.
No, I read the message. I was like, oh, if she was back or not. So.
Oh yeah. I never went.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna, but it got interesting.
Okay, gotcha. So my question to you, Elise, did you happen to go to any panels or events during Anime LA?
Actually, yeah, I went to one of the bigger ones. It was the voice actor roundtable.
Ah, nice.
All of the voice actors present were there. Todd Habercorn had to leave early to rehearse for his thingy after the Masquerade, his show. But yeah, it was really great. It was well organized. The only thing that kind of irked some people in line is that they let us in about 20 minutes late. Which is odd it was a larger panel, so no one was really that surprised, but it was kind of just a matter of patience. I was near the front though, and I heard a lot of people just they were relaxed about it. They weren't getting mad.
Which room did that go in? Was it one of the larger ones or smaller ones?
I'd say it was one of the larger ones. I don't have any pictures or videos, but the crowd spanned pretty far back. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. And I'll pose the same question to you, Steve and Jesse, if you haven't had the chance.
I don't remember which.
I didn't go to any panels, but I get to participate in one.
Fun.
Which one did you participate in?
The CFW.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I did that with Jeremy.
Oh yeah, sorry, I saw the video.
Going to the bathroom right now, Bob? Oh yeah. It was so good.
I'm okay.
Sorry, it's just I anybody that knows me knows I'm terrified of public speaking, and a little bit of borderline personality disorder goes a long way when I'm under those circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I have the same issue too, but
well, you didn't have to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the other thing is a lot of us are we're pretty involved in CWF. For those who don't know, it is the Cosplay Wrestling Federation. I saw the video that Team Masaki put up recently on YouTube of the entire panel. So yeah, how was it? How was it this year? I mean, it seemed like you guys were enjoying yourselves, but
it was a smaller crowd, but it was an energetic crowd. It was kind of frightening watching them, or listening to them, I should say, do their due, because I was behind a curtain a lot of the time. And again, when I'm on stage, a borderline personality disorder and nerves takes over, so I have these frightening gaps in my memory. The one thing I was sure about was I ripped a merkin off a man.
I saw that. That was cool. You straight up took off his chest hair.
It was one of those things where we agreed to it beforehand, but there was an argument as to when it should occur, because I told him if you're going to have a moment like that, you should save it for when it matters.
Right, gotcha.
And then I saw my opening and I took it.
Oh man, I can only imagine the next person, if he does it again, he just dress up as Zangief and then just do the same thing.
as long as he doesn't use stronger glue.
Well, how attached that was to his skin?
It was drooping a bit, but it was still fairly attached. I don't know if he was using spirit gum or what, but I had to tug on it pretty well to get that off in one shot.
Damn.
I don't think he was injured, thankfully. I just think he felt that pretty well.
Right.
And I do remember the crowd didn't understand why he had rolled backwards until they looked up at me and realized that I had something else still in my hand. Because there was a delayed reaction there. That I remember. I remember originally they were just like, what the hell's wrong with... What the hell did he do?
That's great. That is awesome. I remember when I was watching the entire panel. So one of the things I noticed is that while the crowd was small and it was still energetic, G or Mr. Hiki as he's being played on stage, he kind of took a bit of a beating this time around in this panel than previous ones.
Seemed like it. Yeah, he got jumped on quite a few times.
Yeah, he did.
And he's usually pretty clear before the show. He's willing to do a lot, just let him know. And I don't think anybody talked to him before this one.
No.
Really, was all this is impromptu?
Yeah, he seemed really surprised. Towards the end of it, just so he could get out of there without anybody seeing him knocked out, he had to crawl between the bars behind the stage and just kind of drop behind the curtain.
Oh, wow.
And he just kind of came out and said, would somebody talk to me when they do these kinds of things? Like, are you okay? I'm fine. It's just nobody told me anything, and I had to sneak out so people don't think I'm fine.
Wow, okay. Yeah, because he was taking a bit more beating than usual, so... but yeah, the guy can take a hit for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's really cool. It was funny because usually when a CWF happens, usually I'm involved or somebody else was involved to videotape it, and for me it was interesting because as I was at home, I couldn't make it, and I was just watching the panel. I was like, oh, okay, so this is how it feels like to be on the other side, not to physically be there, but to kind of watch from afar. It was still entertaining. I still loved it. And yeah, no, that was really good. Panel was really fun to watch for sure. So, and I think that the next big one is Fanime for CWF, but they were trying to get AOD, but AOD denied them due to
yeah, that was the funniest thing. Those posts came out on social media today, guys. CWF was denied at AOD because they said they already have masquerade-like events on the calendar and don't need another one.
Yeah. And
That's really weird.
yeah, and they came out the guys who made CWF came out he said hey, we're cool if you just deny us for any reason, but to kind of say it was too similar to the masquerade. It had my head scratching. It's so
Have you seen
They have
this
no
program?
idea. They saw the thing and said cosplay, and they're like, nope.
Yeah, the worst part is, though, I decided to get involved in the conversation. I said, well, that's sad. How are you like a masquerade? Can anybody just go up and rip a Brazilian's hair off in the masquerade? Oh, my God, I could go to the masquerade and give all the participants Brazilians.
My guess is maybe they didn't want to have competition between the masquerade and cosplay.
They're so different. They really
Yeah,
are.
Yeah.
that's not even a competition. I mean, unless it was possibly going to happen at the same time frame. But I mean, in all honesty, more often than not, people are going to choose the masquerade. It's just
And why would they be so worried too? Because and I got this from one of the guys or when the organizer CWF told me that it was going to be it was scheduled for a different time than a masquerade. It wasn't anywhere near it. But then the other thing that I thought it was wait, so they don't want this panel, and maybe they're afraid of it, but at the same time, why if they were afraid, why should they? Because the masquerade AOD has prize money up for grabs for it. That is a bit more of an incentive for more people to go and join it. While the CWF doesn't have money per se, quote unquote.
Best guess I got is that probably some event staff at AOD was just reading the synopsis of all this stuff, read that the CWF was a cosplay stage show of some sort, and just decided it sounded too masquerade-like, and they wanted to pass.
yeah, that's what I'm assuming. It's just
Because
they saw the name and said, oh, cosplay, no.
Yeah, because the CWF crowds are raucous. They do yell a lot, but honestly, they don't break anything.
Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah. But I think I told one of the organizers you know what, this is no skin off your backs really. ALD's missing out on a great event, so on a great panel they could have, but Oh wells. With that being said, like me and a bunch of others are going to AOD next weekend to go cover it. Which I'm actually pretty excited for. But yeah.
Good luck with that. Get a Valentine's Day kiss from some hairy guy.
Oh God. It is Valentine's weekend, so I will do my best, I guess. I don't know.
I honestly don't expect you to do your best at that.
Aside from that, though, so I give you my last question for you guys, and then I'll give you guys your time to kind of, overall thoughts about Anime LA is like, any particular kind of standout moments stood out to you in terms of like, just things that only happen at a convention that you could say like, yeah, that happened because, anime convention.
There was like I said, I was working a lot, so I didn't see near as much as I wanted to. I didn't have my usual window on the convention that I've gotten used to over the last 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember Steve trying to show me something in the dealer's hall. So when we're on our walk, we walked by some prison school cosplayers,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all in outfits. However, for some reason, the girls are in modified prison outfits that are very low cut to the point where one of them is wearing like some lacy butt floss type thing. And I remember walking by and just asking Steve, man, I know cosplay costs a lot, but couldn't she afford a whole outfit?
I'd say the swap meet was pretty fun. The night I went anyway. It was pretty memorable. A lot of the sellers were super friendly, and it was smaller than the swap meet at Anime, obviously. I think there were only about 15 tables, but 15 to 20. Not even. But it was really friendly, and it wasn't ridiculously crowded. And I remember walking around with my roommates, just checking everything out. It was really chill. It was good. It was a good time.
Cool. Awesome.
For me, the only thing that kind of stood out outside of the massive gathering in the back of the convention center was in the dealer's hall, because there's this one guy selling those mystery boxes, with a chance to get some of this, one of two epic things, which is a
That
PS4.
was such a brilliant scam.
And, yeah, the PS4 or the an anniversary edition of Voltron with the lions.
Yeah, to put in perspective, Anthony, the guy had a booth of nothing but mystery boxes with a couple signs that said, one of these mystery boxes has a ticket to win this PS4. One of the mystery boxes has a ticket to win this Voltron Lion thing. One of the mystery boxes has a ticket to win this other item. I don't remember what it was. But, that's all he was selling was just... okay. It was just a chance to grab one of these things in addition to whatever else might be in the boxes. And you had to pay, I think it was $25 or $30 per box.
30, I think it's 30 or 35. But the thing that stood out for me was, I was right by her when this one guy was, went deciding to buy one. He said, yeah. The guy asked, which one you want? I said, yeah, you pick. He said, I can't. I know which one has the prize tickets.
It's the one I keep. It's the one I keep under the table and don't.
So
sell
the guy
to anybody.
The guy chose like, this shelf, second shelf, and whatever's directly behind that. Open it. The guy opened up, and he won the 30th anniversary Voltron. Right there in front of me.
Wow, that's sick. That's awesome. It is like playing.
This happened on Saturday.
Damn. It's like playing like the biggest game of chance and somehow making it work.
It's called a lotto.
Well, that too. I mean, it may not get you about $1 billion, but it's something. So, yeah.
Something unusual you won't usually get.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Steve.
At least I didn't have any vendors that just went, "Oh my God, you're back!" It's like, stop it.
You already took my money already as it is. God damn it.
No, the problem is that, like I said, they got some of the vendors that are bigger in the anime circuit in California. So there were a couple of them that were looking at me, just going, "I know this old fart."
What are you doing here?
That's hilarious. Steve, any particular moments stood out to you at Anime LA?
Just working the masquerade and seeing all the camaraderie of all the contestants and everything backstage. It was just awesome. I mean, I don't know if you could hear it from out in the audience, but every time somebody was going up and everything, there was just all kinds of cheering going on in the background. Everybody giving everybody support. The halftime shows were pretty good, and a lot of support amongst them too. So that was just kind of nice to see that community coming together.
That's really beautiful. Actually, yeah, I did work the masquerade, and I'm sad that we couldn't hear that, because that sounds so nice.
Awesome.
Actually, I have one other thing. Now, right before the masquerade started, because I kind of got roped into guarding the door to let in people who were supposed to be there and keep everyone else out. And for a while, if people were asking, "Does the masquerade?" Yeah, I say, "Where's the line?" I don't know. And eventually got told where the line was at, so that's why I started, directing. No, line's over there. Line's over there. Like every 5 seconds, masquerade, yes, line there. But the thing is, I was noticing it's getting awfully crowded in here, so I went to first group say, "Are you here for the masquerade?" Yeah, the line's out there. Oh, okay. Everybody's small section of people left, but there's still more. So I went to 5 different groups directing lines over there.
Wow.
Like, cool. All right. 5 minutes later, it got crowded again. So, in a rare chance where I get to use the full depth of my voice, just yell out, "The line's out there!" Cleared it all out.
So was there like a
5
mad?
minutes later, it got crowded again.
Oh, okay. So when you said that, was it like basically shouting like in Skyrim, your shout, and then like everybody just went away?
No, the way this convention said, if you're loud enough, you don't need a megaphone. Your voice will carry.
Wow, nice.
I wasn't the first one to do it.
Nice.
Some other guy did it from the second level. Got everyone to do some weird chant. So I said, "All right, let me try this." Boom. Cleared it out.
Fusruda.
Yeah, there were a couple times where it was a little crowded. I think I was walking behind Elise or somebody else, and they said excuse me a couple times, and nobody moved or heard them, and finally I just said excuse me. And you know how it is when people turn around and look down at a young lady and say, "What the hell do you want?" Then they look up and say, "Oh my God, she's walking with a gorilla."
Oh God! And I just remembered, I actually worked the fashion show too, and it was so funny because the models, they had to go up and act all cool, do their little walk and show off the clothes, but they were so nervous, and they were just like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm gonna die, oh my God, oh my God!" It was so, I don't know, I don't want to say entertaining because they were obviously freaking out. They were excited, but they were freaking out. And was it Jared who was with me then, or was it Kirk?
It was Kirk. It was Kirk.
Yeah. He was just telling them, "All right, you're gonna be cool. You're gonna be cool," and they were just like, "Oh my God."
Well, you understand, Kirk's got a talent because he used to teach,
gymnasts,
girls gymnastics, and he was good at keeping them calm down in the face of an audience.
Yeah. It was intimidating no matter what, but it was just it was awesome.
Actually, did you guys talk to Carolyn about her experience with the fashion show?
No.
I talked with her a bit because we were both working the masquerade. We were both backstage ninjas.
Okay, because I saw her on Friday night after the fashion show. She wanted to see me because she had driven in earlier that day and hadn't seen my face. So I was getting ready for CWF, and she came walking up with her husband, and the first thing I noticed was that she had blue eyeshadow above her eyes and this pink eyeshadow under them.
Yeah.
So I was starting to draw my own conclusions, and it was even better because I just said, "So how's it going?" And she said, "It was going great. The fashion show was weird." "Oh yeah, how was that?" She said, "Well, I was you asked me to come and help out, getting models out of clothes and getting new outfits." Yeah, I remember that ask. And she says, "Yeah, they kind of did that by themselves, so I wasn't sure why I was there." It's like, "Oh, well, that's weird." And then a couple models didn't show up. "Oh, what happened?" "Oh, they put me in the clothes." Say what?
Okay, really? I never met her. I didn't realize she had to go up there and be a model too. That's so funny.
Yeah, so she had to do the catwalk in, and she says, "Well, that was something I didn't expect." "Oh, I imagine so." And she said it was so funny because after the show, all the models were talking about all the food they were going to eat, and it's like, okay, what, like 3 M&Ms and a couple popcorn kernels? What are you talking about here? So, and she just said, no, they actually felt like a full meal, but before they left, they wanted to say thank you, and then they decided to make up my face, and I looked at her and said, "Yeah, I noticed that."
That's hilarious.
She was actually quite surprised that they picked her to go in because most models, 5'6" is short, and she's like 5'0".
Yeah, and these were actual, like, either professional or aspiring models. So the size 2s were the fat ones.
But, she was just like, I was really surprised that I was able to fit into some of them, but she had a good time. So
Yeah,
Nice.
and there was, I don't know which line it was, but I noticed that one of them had some definitely more, I don't want to say average, but more typical looking models. Like, there was more variation in face and size, and that was pretty cool. I don't know Carolyn, though. I don't think I met her, so I wouldn't have recognized her, but I was kind of helping the
Oh,
model.
don't worry, Jerry barely recognizes her to begin with, anyways.
anytime I picture her, she always has silver hair, because that's the first time I met her. She was in cosplay.
The girl is she's a human chameleon. Okay,
Yes.
she's the second coming of Zartan from G.I. Joe. You will never see her coming until she's right on top of you.
Zartan and Baroness.
It's hilarious. I mean, I totally didn't even know she was here this year. I didn't realize that you'd asked her to come help us out and everything. And she's come previously, but I hadn't heard any word. And then I'm downstairs Monday or Friday getting breakfast, and Kirk's like, "Oh, hey, come over." I was just sitting by myself, and I walk over there, and she's sitting down eating breakfast with Kirk, and I was just like, "Oh, hey, you're here."
Actually, I think your reaction was probably more, "Wow, you're here with a girl. Oh, it's you."
No, it would not surprise me to see Kirk sitting with a girl. Whether or not she's willingly sitting there with him is another matter, but
That's horrible.
Wow.
No, Carolyn is always.
Though.
Yeah, Carolyn is what I would call unintentionally creepy, at least when it comes to me, because she's always the first one to spot me in a crowd and run up and just go, "Jeremy!" And my first response, because she's always in a different outfit and wig, is just, "Yeah, what can I do for you?" "It's me. It's me." "Oh, crap. Hi."
yeah, you really kind of have to memorize her voice, because I swear to God, I have had her come up to me on the same day, different costume, and I'm just like, "Who are you?"
No, it's funny because like I did get the comic. I kind of saw those floating around, but like it's one of those things that only anime conventions where like, somebody you've met before. It's just like, oh, oh yeah, how are you doing? It's like, oh, how are you doing? Person walks away. Who was that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so yeah, I could definitely relate. It's happened to me a couple of times.
I can't speak for the others, but to kind of summarize where all this is going is that I would say that overall ALA, as far as a convention, is very positive. It's the crowd that's grown up around it that needs some regulation. I think that's the long and short of it. As far as a fan convention, it's still a pretty solid show, still very fun to work at, still very fun to attend. But the parties thing, it's got to be drawn down.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that final
I
thoughts?
can live without that bit.
Okay. Is that also your guys' final thoughts? It's gonna, as you guys do your spiel on your final thoughts on ALA.
For me, individually, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I always kind of considered ALA, and Jeremy knows about this. I've gone every few years since 2008, and something iffy has always happened, even though it's a really fun con. Like, my friends and I would joke that it's the bad luck con, because even if it's going great, there will be one thing that happens, and you're just like, it'll catch you off guard, and I don't know what is up with that for me personally, but honestly, going into this year, the first half of it was amazing, and I was totally blown away by the effort put in, despite the fact that some of the staff, some of the departments were severely lacking because some people just didn't show up. Like, I think half of ConOps just couldn't make it or something, and I mean, despite that, it was a really great time, and I'd like to say that despite all the stuff that happened during the last half of the con and all the drama, all the, you've heard about it, the AMT calls, whatever, it was still a really great show and it was really fun. It was a positive experience. But I think that most of the people on this podcast would agree that some major changes need to be made for this to be something we can attend regularly and feel good about, because there were some things that happened that shouldn't, period. And I'm hoping that I can attend next year and feel good about it. I mean, I'm going to ask Jeremy to keep me updated on all his talk with people, and I really think that this convention being held at this venue was a good decision, because I feel like it's finally living up to its potential that maybe it couldn't quite meet at the LAX Marriott. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some changes for the better, so that I can come back next year and work and have fun and meet with my friends again. So yeah, final thoughts. There you go.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Elise. Steve, your final thoughts on Anime LA?
Yeah, pretty much. We've all kind of discussed this already, so yeah, it kind of dovetails with everybody else. I want to work, and I want to go back and attend next year, so I'm really hoping that some stuff gets changed. But for the most part, like the actual convention attendance and kind of seeing everybody have fun, that was great. It didn't seem like we really, because I was a little worried going into this one, bigger. I knew there was going to be more people. I wasn't quite sure that we were going to be up to it, and it went a lot better than I was thinking it was going to. I know that we were pretty shorthanded in certain departments, but it didn't seem like it. So, and then I've kind of made a tradition of helping out with the masquerade every year, and I really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed the changes that ended up happening there. A lot of things backstage were a lot easier, so I like this convention center. We may end up, we'll probably end up switching hotels next year, just to kind of get a feel for some of the other areas and whatnot. But yeah.
We're not going to the Radisson.
No.
No way.
So
No.
but it's definitely one that I want to go back to. So I'm hoping other people will give it a shot, but just not necessarily even be moderate, but just keep some common sense. Don't get crazy. Some people have to get crazy to have a good time. Just don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, agreed. You can have a good time without wrecking shit.
Yeah. Property damage and getting arrested, probably not what you're going for when you want to attend a convention.
Yeah. Jail is not fun.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. Last but not least, Jesse, your final thoughts on Anime LA?
Well, my initial thoughts going in there since the change of venue is that we're going to lose the community camaraderie feel, which, I'm glad that was dashed. But the party crowd, which, I don't partake in myself, I heard about from various other conventions that they do happen. The fact that that party went as far as it did worry me. It legitimately just brought my energy levels from, oh, I'm tired, and I'm concerned, which is, being tired is not a big deal. Me being concerned, it's like a freaking ulcer for me.
Oh, no.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay, good to know. But thank you. And thanks again for everybody here to give their time to talk about Anime LA. Before we go, and I'll go in the opposite order. Jesse, where can I find you on the internet?
Any questions for me? Directed to Jeremy.
In that case, Jeremy, where can you find Jesse on the internet?
The FBI has a very interesting profile on him. It's wanted by Homeland Security in a couple of ways. I'm not entirely sure. I'll let him.
Hey, that's
I'll let
private.
him list out
Man.
his felonies.
That stuff's private.
That's because he's a chameleon. You can't tell if he's Mexican or Korean.
Watch out.
According to
I got places to hide.
According to my 12-year-old, he's a Japan-Mexican.
Wow.
That's a quote, too. I have the podcast to prove it.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
We're a
Listen,
new breed,
Jeremy, where can they find you on the internet?
I'm on cosplay.com under the handle Freight. I do a weekly podcast with everybody else in this room except for Anthony called The Rolling 20s, which can be found on iTunes and on Stitcher. I am currently running a buying group for some reason on friendsofcc.com for Comic-Con. Don't ask, seriously.
Okay.
And God, my next scheduled convention, I might go to Long Beach Comic-Con for a day, or Comic Expo, I should say. I don't have a room scheduled, and I don't really have a budget to do a full weekend thing by myself. I'm going to be at WonderCon this March. I have a 50-50 shot at going to Fanime this May. I probably have to go to Animexpo because people are already asking me about that. I'm definitely going to San Diego Comic-Con. I already have the badges for that. Oh, and I'm going to be at Disneyland at New Year's. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and don't forget the Las Vegas.
Oh God, eat me, right? Yeah, I have to go to Great American Comic Con very likely in early December in Las Vegas.
All right. Cool.
And if I have my druthers, I'm staying at the Paris for that one.
All right. Awesome. Elise, where can they find you on the internet?
I'm actually gonna be at Fanime doing Artist Alley, and for that reason, I remade my art blog. It's Flavor Days on Tumblr, and I also have a Twitter under the same handle, Flavor Days. So yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Steve, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, they'd have to look really hard, but other than that, yeah, basically with the Rolling 20s, that's kind of my online presence.
All right. And you can follow me personally on Twitter at Defective Naruto. You can follow the work that we all do at our website at missionstartpodcast.com. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes and Stitcher. You can also find this podcast among the other two on the podcast section on the site at missionstartpodcast.com. And before we end the show, I'm going to make this quick prediction because we're recording on the 6th of February, the day before the Super Bowl. And I'm going to put it out there.
He thinks Cam Newton is going to come out as gay.
My prediction is that I think Denver's going to beat them. It's not the most strongest prediction I'm going to put out there, but
I think you're completely wrong.
I know. But
I'm guessing Carolina by 6. I think both are very good defenses. However, Carolina is the only one that has a consistent offense that really pumps on all cylinders.
That's true. I just think the Denver defense is really good. It's been really good all season. They shut down Tom Brady. If they could do the same thing as Cam Newton, I think it'll be in Denver's favor.
I just don't know. Cam Newton's better at the play action, and the thing is, Cam Newton is more like a running back that happens to know how to throw.
That's true.
Yeah. I know nothing.
But you know what? I have a strong feeling for the underdog. That's just always been my thing. So, I'm really torn. I have a feeling that Carolina's going to win.
Yeah.
But I'm, neither of these are my teams, so I'm just hoping it's a good game.
Yeah, agreed. I think
do not want it to be like some kind of smashing shutout. It just makes it boring.
Yeah.
I love how this went from talking about conventions and anime to straight to football. Completely on the opposite scale of two subjects.
It's not on the opposite scale. Football is just D&D miniatures. The objective is a little different. You're both looking for the treasure. Can you get to the end of the dungeon?
Yes, exactly. It is like basically just D&D for jocks. But yeah.
That's fantasy football.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true. But yeah, I say Denver by 3. That's my prediction. All right, there you go. Should it be said? Should it be done? All right, so that's gonna do it for us.
I think LARPing is what the Patriots do.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can say it. They're not in the Super Bowl, so yeah. With that, I think we'll end it here. Thanks again for sticking around, and.
気合い入れてくぜ